It is time for another live video. Feels so good. I just finished my yoga for the day. I wasn't like stressed, I guess. I was dealing with a lot of things in my mind. And so today, yoga practice really helped me. I felt really in tune with my breath. I felt really connected with breath and movement. And I haven't felt that connected to myself in a very long time. I mean, even though I practice yoga on a daily basis, really feeling that breath, body, like the breath, movement, motion, connection today, it was very, very strong. And I am forever grateful for it. I was actually really amazed at how good that felt, or how good it could feel. And today, the topic was trust. And, she said, trust yoga, trust the moves, trust yourself, trust the video, trust that if you keep going, things are going to be all right. Hey, Logan. Greetings to you, too. I'm just talking about yoga today. It was day 2 of Yoga with Adrienne's, was it Truth series, I think it is. It's amazing. I swear to goodness, it's changing my life. I love Yoga with Adrienne. She's got a bunch of different 30-day programs. I like it because I like how she talks about yoga. I like the things that she discusses. Hey, Doria, what's up? The 30-day yoga series, really. And today's topic was trust. And, of course, when I'm laying there in Shavasana, the corpse pose, and I don't think about, what I'm going to say until corpse pose right before I do the video. And then I write it all down. I write my thoughts down, and I talk about it then. After a corpse pose, I, roll over and just write. But what was I saying? Trust. But, yeah, as I was laying there and I was thinking, I was like, wow, if you just keep doing the moves, if you just keep trusting in the universe, if you just keep going, just trust that everything's going to work out, and trust that you can connect your mind and your body and your spirit and your mind and your breath and the body and the breath, and just there are connections to be made. What did I write? I wrote, trust yoga, trust life, trust that you'll get to the finish line. Trust that no matter what, everything is working out in your favor, no matter what that looks like. Trust. And yeah, a lot of times we have our own views and I would like it to look this way, or I would like to win the lottery, and it's not working out for me. I haven't won the lottery. I'm so angry and I'm mad and I'm upset. And yet we fail to notice that yet another day we have a roof over our head and food in our belly and loved ones to connect with. Now, whether or not we choose to connect with them or we choose to see these things as blessings does not mean that blessings are not still there. It means that we have to look beyond our common everyday perceptions and look further and look deeper at all of the many things that are going on and that are going right. Sure, we could all say that there's a lot of stuff going wrong in the world and within our lives, and there's changes that we could be making, and yet we fail to notice what's right in front of us. And it's a beautiful thing. And no matter if you are where you don't want to be, or if you're in a place where you feel you need to make a lot of changes, just trust that the changes will be made, because you can't change anybody else. You cannot change anybody else. You can't even mold your children into the people you want them to be. The only person you can change is you. And everybody always wants to change the world. Sure, I want to change the world. And so what I've started doing is changing myself, because the only way the world is going to change is if I change, and then the way that I relate and interact with other people, then they see that change, and then they themselves will interact in their next exchange with another person. And that's how the world changes. Because Exactly. Logan says consciousness and what you're paying attention to. Exactly. It's like we could sit here and sure we could focus on all the negative. And I'm not saying don't pay attention to it or don't see it, don't acknowledge it. It's there. View it, okay? It's there. And yet harping on it and like what is that phrase saying? Energy goes where attention flows, or energy flows where attention goes. And so like the more energy and attention we put toward this, the more it grows. And it's like you could let these horrible things grow and you'll start to see a horrible nightmare, or you could choose to see something else. And it's in that choice. It's the choice. And of course, you could choose to do whatever you want. That's the beautiful thing about this. Like, you don't have to do this. You could sit there and be a Debbie Downer and choose to treat everybody poorly. Or you could choose to write a different story. And I feel that in my heart of hearts that most people don't want to be miserable. They want to live lives that are full of love and laughter and joy. And yet they feel stuck in these perpetual just like bad moods. And I feel like they want to break free, but maybe they don't know how to. And the way you start is literally just by saying consciously, all right, nope. What I do in my head is because I am an obsessive thinker. And I think and I think and I think and I overthink, and oh my gosh, am I thinking about this? I'm thinking about this again. And what I do to myself is I say out aloud, not useful. So I'll just be sitting there and I'll be like, not useful. And then instantly it like breaks up my thought process, and I can start anew, and it really helps me like move forward with my thinking as opposed to getting stuck on one thing. Or instead of saying to myself, I can't do this, I say, how can I? And I find that really helps me too. But it's all in the trust. And like, even though it might not look the way, like your life might not look the way you want it to look, everything is still working out for your highest good. I don't believe that any of us were put here to be miserable, to live a miserable life, to just come here and pay bills and then flit off into oblivion. I believe that we're here to learn lessons, and we can either learn our lessons or we can be trapped by them, or we can feel trapped by them rather. And I don't know about you, but I'd rather just learn these lessons and like move on. And sometimes, you want to sit in a lesson, and I'm going to sit here in my lesson, and like that's cool too, but like you don't have to. It's not necessary. Another thing I wanted to talk about today was support. I am running this group for supporting mothers in their first year on Facebook, and we don't have very many members, but the members that we do have, we're all very active and vocal, and if you're listening now, I appreciate you. I love you. And today, it was Taco About It Tuesday, and I posted like a picture of like a taco, and like, what have you been going through? We discussed, and it was like what's happening to you? Is it good things? Is it bad things? Like, whatever the things are, like, what have you been going through? And we had a lot of the members share and be open and honest. And I know a lot of times it seems difficult to, like, it seems difficult and, like, daunting. Like, oh, no, am I really going to talk to people about this? Like, oh, I don't want to sound like I'm complaining. I don't want to sound like I'm a drama queen or anything like that. But at the same time and in the same breath, it's good to air the things that are going on with us so that we can seek support, so we can get a different viewpoint on it. And yet it's not complaining, but it's rather stating what's going on. And if you're seeking solutions to it, that's not complaining at all. That's seeking solutions. And the only way you can find, if you're in an issue and you're like, I don't know how to get out of this, and so you share it with somebody else, that has a like mind, has a similar mindset to you. I mean, not even a similar mindset, but like that loves you and appreciates you and wants to see you move forward, then like you can share it in an open, loving space, and then you can receive feedback on it, and then somebody else can see it. Like it's like a fishbowl, right? And when you're in the fishbowl, you're in the problem. You're all in the water, and and all of the things are happening. But like there's a person on the outside of the fishbowl looking in that can see it from this point of view. And like if you take a step out of it, out of the fishbowl yourself, and maybe you walk around behind the other person, you see like maybe they're hungry, maybe they had a bad day, maybe their boss yelled at them, maybe the baby shit on their head earlier that day. And you don't know until you take a step out, until you share it and you see, oh wow, there's another way to look at this situation. And then you can move forward. You can implement the things that have been spoken about. And then you can like, it's more. Like it's more. And I know that a couple of the members have reached out to me privately to say like, thank you for providing a support system like this. And it's like, as moms, I'm focusing on moms, period, within their first year of having a baby. Because to be honest, like, you just brought, like, these women are just bringing a new person. There wasn't this person here, now there's a person here. And your body is literally ripped open. And however the baby got there, you had to rip yourself open, totally change who you are. And then now you have this kid and you're trying to insert your life. And everybody's saying, well, if you're American, of course, you have to go back to work. You have all of these situations. Oftentimes our partners are like, why isn't the house clean? When, you know, you're sitting there and you're like, you haven't even showered yourself and all of these things, and the baby's running around. What's up, Phil? All of these things are happening, and yet nobody's supporting the moms. So I'm here for the moms. And I know that it's difficult for also dads too. And I know that it's difficult also for moms in different stages of momhood. But these are the women that I'm focusing on. Like, if you're pregnant and you're trying to deal with your life, and sometimes you don't want to get up out of bed. Man, I swear to you, when I was pregnant with Stone, I did not get out of bed for like a whole week. I had like, I had pre-labor symptoms, and there was a whole week where I literally didn't get out of bed. I was really sick, but I didn't even talk about it. Goodness gracious. I didn't even talk about it. I didn't even seek support. I know what it feels like to be alone and to feel alone. And yet we have the internet now. I'm sitting here talking to I don't even know how many people and right now, and who else is going to be watching this video over the course of however long, you know? And it's like, there's others out there like you. So find your support system. Find where your tribe is. Reach out. You're not alone. What did I write? Let me see. Reach out. Maybe that means finding a group on Facebook or in real life and sharing what you're going through. You aren't alone. There is such connectivity nowadays with the internet. You don't have to suffer in silence. You don't have to suffer in silence. You are not trapped. We are not limited anymore. There's literally anything you could do is at your fingertips. Anything you want to learn is right here on your devices. And you don't have to sit there and go, I don't know how to do that. Watch a YouTube video, for Christ's sake. Like, you'll figure it out, and you can learn and you can grow, and you're not bound by your DNA anymore, and you're not bound by your parents or your family experiences, and you're not bound by anything other than your own thoughts. You can do anything. Anything. So reach out and find support, and find others that are like you, and find people that are on a similar path as you. You know, gain your confidence and really just be like, just find where you're comfortable with, or find the people that are with you and be with them. I remember when I was little and I was like, man, I think I'm adopted. Looking just like every one of my family members, but I'm like, man, I'm adopted. There's no way these people are my family. I don't belong here. And yet on the internet, I find so many people that think similarly to me, and that are on a similar path and a similar journey of like self-love and changing, like radical change. I swear to goodness, I feel like I am taking like, I don't know, I'm just scraping out my insides and like chucking it out and just rewriting and like hanging up new things. Like, it's a really beautiful feeling. It's very humbling, and I change a lot. Like, I will be a completely different person. Thank goodness for my partner who keeps up with me. But yeah. Oh yeah, and my last point that I wanted to talk about today was be or get active. Be active or get active. I wanted to talk about the importance of mindful movement and the effects on the psyche and mood. Go outside, get some fresh air, go for a walk. Screen time, video games, Facebooking, it's a distraction. And again, you can use the Facebook and the video games, but like, don't let it be a crutch. Get outside and be active. It really makes you unable to fully relax the self, these distractions. So seek out actual relaxation techniques like deep breathing, of course, yoga. I will talk to everybody about doing yoga, just yoga. You could walk, deep breathing, really just sit and stretch, like actually do relaxation techniques. Because a lot of times when we play video games, we're like, and you know, you see like you get tense and things like that. And that's not relaxation. It's just distracting you from the fact. It's like really like you're into your screen, and then you have your whole family around you that's watching you, and maybe they're off in their own screens and everybody's off spending alone time, but it really is destroying the central unit of the family. And it needs, I mean, of course, live your own life, but it's very important to keep, like, bring it on back. Honor the family, honor the mother and the self and the children and the father and all of the different pieces that make up family. And go for a walk together, laugh together, create a meal together, do something together. But get active, move your body, mindful movement. Oftentimes we get so stuck. You know, people like our older generations and stuff, we look at them and we think that we're supposed to get old and decrepit, and yet they've sat in their chairs watching Murder, She Wrote. Goodness gracious, it's not even a show anymore, is it? But they're stuck in their chairs watching Murder, She Wrote, and they don't move. And so every day that you don't move, you lose a little bit. And so yeah, 10, 15, 20, 30, 45 years later, you're sedentary and you're stuck in your body. Because I know people that are my age that are like, oh, well, I'm just getting old, I'm just getting up there. And yet, like, no, like that's a choice. It's a choice. I go outside and I play every day, at least as long as the weather permits. And if not, I'm definitely doing some kind of yoga because I have to, because yoga right now is my drug of choice. It is what helps me. It's what calms me down. It is what keeps me sane. It is how I move energy throughout my body. And when I don't do it, I feel lost and stuck and like really irritated and agitated. But that's like my coping mechanism is yoga and writing. I write a lot. And these videos are actually another one of my coping mechanisms because I have a lot of words. And I have found that I can be awfully critical of myself and others, but I find that these videos, I just say my thoughts, and to me, I'm just sitting here in my office in front of the screen, but like, I don't know who exactly I'm talking to, but I just know that I have to say these things, and maybe you agree, and maybe you don't, but these are my thoughts, and this is how I feel about certain things. So yeah, I talked about trust. Trust. I feel like we've got a lot of trust issues going on, and you know, oh, my life isn't what I want it to be. Of course not. We are human, and we like to complain about stuff, and we like to see different things happen. But at the end of the day, everything's really working out for your greatest good, if you choose to see it that way. Of course, like. Okay, here's an example. I was living on my own. I had a great place in Hazel Park. I loved it. I had my own house. I loved it. I had my own car. I had my cell phone. I had all the stuff that I needed. I had my own job. I was taking care of myself. My ex-husband said, hey, come help me. I need help. And I said, okay. I'm tired of paying all these bills anyway. Fine, whatever. I've done this. I've lived on my own. I can say I've done it. Did it for like 3-4 years. And then at the end of that time, I moved in with him and to co-parent, and it just wasn't working out. I love the guy. He's great over there. There's a reason why he's my ex-husband. So we had a really bad fight one time, and he threw me out of our house, and I had nowhere to go. The neighbor drove me and my sister to the bus station. I collected a couple little dollars that I had left, and got on the bus and took the bus to my mother's house. So I moved in with my mom. I'm like 30. I'm like, oh my God, I moved in with my mom. It was so embarrassing. Well, whatever. I moved in with her. And then I was like, man, everything is like falling apart right now. So I meet my partner a little while later. I meet my partner, and the day after we decided to like, okay, fine, you're my boyfriend. I didn't want him to be, but I was really stubborn and I refused to be in relationships. But I was like, well, I've been single for 5 years, so I can be in a relationship, even if it's with you. I love it. So we got together, and then the very next day, my stepdad kicked me out of our house, kicked me out of the house. So I'm like, where am I going to go? Who am I going to go to now? I got kicked out of my mom's house. So I called my boyfriend, and I was like, hey, can I move in with you? And he was living with some people at the time, and he was just like, okay, you need me to come get you? And I was like, yes, come get me. So I moved in with him. I don't even think it had been a month later. He was out of town at the time, and they kicked me and my sister out of their house. So then we lived in a hotel. I lived in a hotel. I was homeless. Did I mention any of this? Of course not. I was homeless. For 6 weeks, I lived in a hotel. My sister and I worked every day to pay for the hotel because, of course, it was expensive. It was in Ann Arbor. And then we saved up a whole bunch of money. I don't even know how. We saved up all this money within a week because I was like, I'm sick of this hotel. Let's get out of here. And so within a week, we had enough money to pay for a down payment or for the security deposit on our house. And we lived in that spot for a year. Then we lived in the next spot. And then everything crumbled around us. And we decided to leave. And now I'm in this spot. This spot. Now I'm okay. And we're going to stay here for a while. But, everything just kept falling apart. I mean, everywhere I went. I mean, some places I wasn't even there for 3 months. And it was like, it was really stressful. It was extremely stressful. I can't even believe I went through all of that. But at the same time, it was leading me to this place. And although it was falling apart, and like the last place my sister and I lived, like everything fell apart. And we have so much money to pay back for those people. But I don't care. We needed a clean break, and we got it. But at the end of the day, we're here now. I'm here now, and I need to be here now. And everything fell right into place, even though it fell apart for like 2 years. That was my life for like 2 years. Wow. But anyway, this has gone on long enough. Trust. That's what I was talking about. Trust. Trust in the power of the universe, and trust that everything's falling into place, and trust that everything is working out for your greatest good. Because it is. And believe it or not, the universe is conspiring in your favor. Just let it. Just let it. Next, I talked about support. Support is so important. Like, seek people out to support you. And if there are people in your life that don't support you, cut them out. Get them out of there. Get them out of your life. They don't deserve you. You deserve better. Okay? It's okay. Like, find your support. Find your tribe. I was noticing in my group of supportive mothers that we were all supporting each other today. It was so many comments, and everybody was just, you know what, I love you, and being there for each other, and you know, sharing some really difficult things, and sharing some really awesome things too, but like some difficult things as well, and like things that we wouldn't even tell others. But I created a space where we felt comfortable to share, and it helps you out. It helps you to see a different perspective on your issue. So find support, seek support, and if you don't have any, like, you're not alone. It's the internet. It's 2018. Don't tell me you don't have any support. You got some. What is the last thing I talked about? Oh yeah, be and get active. It's so good for you to move your body, to stretch and like feel things and go get some fresh air. A lot of times we're cooped up in office buildings, like moms were cooped up in our houses. Go outside, get some sun, and just feel. Put your toes in the grass, for fuck's sake. Like, have a great time. There's no excuse not to. But like I said, this video has gone on long enough, but I feel really good today, and I feel really calm and really centered, and yoga was awesome. Yoga with Adrienne, the True series, I love it. Day 2. Well, I hope you have a great rest of the day. I love you, and I will see you tomorrow between 6 and 7:30. I'm going to start the video. Bye, and love.